What's up, BookTube? Sandy Golson back here, and I am responding to a tag video. I was tagged by my good BookTube buddy, Margaret Pernard, and it was an interesting tag because it was something that really got me thinking, and it was good book, bad ending. I had several candidates that immediately popped into my head, and I'm gonna share one of those with you next. So when I think of good books with bad endings, I think of a lot of things that keep me hooked, that keep me interested, compelling characters, interesting scenes, a good storyline, things that are just gonna keep me really at peak interest for as long as possible, that keeps me wanting to turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. And so for me, it starts with characters. It starts with a good plot, something that I just have to know how it's going to end. And so when I think about that, but then I also look at, bad ending. And so one of the books that jumped out at me pretty quick was a book that was copyrighted in 1934, and it's one of this author's best books, if not this author's best book, and that is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. So I have read this book a while ago, and I actually want to reread it, and then I ended up watching the movie, the older version of the movie. I believe there's a newer version of the movie that's out as well, but I ended up watching the older version of the movie, and I kind of want to watch it again, but I actually want to read the book again first. I think the first time I did it was an audio book, so I definitely want to read this again, but I don't want to spoil the ending, so this is spoiler free, by the way. I hope I'm not too late in saying that, but it is intriguing throughout. It keeps you hooked. You're very interested. This is Agatha Christie at her best. I've read a number of Agatha Christie books over the years, and it gets to the end, and it's one of those things where it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's an interesting ending. I hadn't thought about doing it that way. And gosh, I'm just really trying not to give it away, but you can go up and look it up if you want to. But the way it ends is just not typical of a certain type of satisfying ending that you really want to have, that most people, I would say, really want to have in the book. So that's as far as I'm going to go with it, because anything more would be giving it away. But it is a very good read. It's very compelling. It's going to keep you, at least it kept me hooked. And I'm a person that sometimes older books are really hit or miss for me. I just cannot get down with older written books. But Agatha Christie books are a little bit different for me. I don't have a hard time really getting into many of her books. And again, as I said, I've read a number of her books over the years. This is definitely the best of the books of hers that I've read, so much so that I do want to read it again. This is an older copy of it, but I'm definitely excited about reading this book again, just to get back into it and to reread it. I actually read the book, audiobook, listened to it then, and then I watched the movie, which the movie was a little tougher for me to get into than the book, which is not typically the case, even though the movie is typically not as good as the book. I really had a difficult time kind of getting into the movie, and maybe part of it is because I kind of knew how it was going to end. So, but very good book, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, but the ending, I really had a hard time with the ending. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, thanks for the tag, Margaret Pernard. I was definitely excited about this when I first saw it on Twitter, and I hope this is what some people were looking for. And if you've read any Agatha Christie books, or if you've read Murder on the Orient Express in particular, let me know if you felt similarly about the ending of Murder on the Orient Express.